The Adidas Supernova Rise 2. The Supernova Rise was my shoe of the year in 2024. How does the new version in 2025 hold up? The previous version of this shoe, the Supernova Rise 1, was my shoe of the year last year in 2024, and it was overall a very exciting shoe. A great PIBA-based foam, some really great engineering in the midsole and the outsole, a great fit, a great trainer, low stack, very flexible. Really, it was just everything I wanted in this type of shoe, and I was really surprised that Adidas made it. So when this shoe came out, the Supernova Rise 2, at the end of 2024, as one of the first 2025 shoes that Adidas released, I was quite excited to pick it up and see if that continues. Now, this review is going to be a little shorter because honestly, this shoe isn't much different than the first version. So if you want to get into all of the engineering and details about this shoe, I'll put a link to the 3 videos I made about the Supernova Rise last year in the description. My initial impressions get into the initial review of that. The 200-mile update gets into some of the engineering and why the shoe works so well. And my shoe of the year video just kind of celebrates how good the shoe was. So if you want all of those details, they're there in the description. This video is going to be focused on the Supernova Rise 2 and really what's changed. And it's very minor. And starting with the specs of this shoe, overall, the dimensions of this shoe have not changed from the first version. The tooling of the midsole, the contact patch of the midsole, the outsole, everything about this shoe dimension-wise has not changed. We still have the same 34-24 millimeter stack height according to Running Warehouse. However, Adidas specifies 36-26. I kind of go with the lower one because this shoe feels a little bit lower than that. It still has a 10 mil drop. It still feels like an 8 to 10 mil drop. I wouldn't say it's super aggressive because this is a shoe focused on comfort, but it is a higher drop. Now, one of the changes in this shoe is that it did drop some weight. It dropped about 10 grams from the Supernova Rise 1. So as you can see, my pair comes in at 255 and 257 grams. My Supernova Rise 1 came in at 267 and 265 grams. So it lost 10 grams. And Adidas says this shoe is 4% lighter than the Supernova Rise 1, and that's about 4%. So they were spot on with that. And overall, I would just consider this a very cushioned ride. It is low stack, it is very flexible, there is ground feel in here. This Dreamstrike Plus foam, which is their PIBA-based foam, which is a great just training foam, is very comfortable. It's very soft. It's not resilient. This isn't a foam that's focused around speed and performance. This is a foam focused around durability and comfort first. It's great. The support rod system, the EVA system that's in this that works like a carrier foam but still exposes the PIBA to the ground, does its job, does it really well, gives the foam a little bit more pop to it, a little bit more structure. The shoe rides like there's a little bit more in the midsole. Overall, same engineering, and it's still really great in this shoe, and that's why I give it a cushioned ride. And moving to the upper of this shoe, this is where, according to Adidas, all of the changes in this shoe actually are. And what Adidas said they wanted to do with the Supernova Rise 2 was pare it back, streamline it, and just improve the overall fit and comfort of the shoe. And what they've done is they've removed some of the padding from the ankle counter and the Achilles flare, and they've taken some of the padding out of the tongue, which just streamlines everything here in the ankle area. And it is nicer. There's still a deep pocket back here. There's still padding back here. There's just a little less. The other big change is the engineered mesh of the upper is a just slightly lighter, a little bit more compliant to the foot material. It's not quite as thick and baggy as it was in the Supernova Rise 1, but it's a very minor difference. Really, the feel on foot is you put your foot in here, the upper kind of wraps around the foot a little bit better, and there's just a little less going on here in the ankle area. Overall, I would say yes, it is a better, more comfortable fit. It's not a revolutionary difference, but it's enough that there is a quality of life difference in it. And I do prefer this upper. It's just overall lighter and more streamlined. And moving to sizing and fit, with all of those changes to the upper, the recommendation here is still true to size. This is still very much a training fit. It's still a bit of a long shoe. It's still a bit of a narrow shoe. There is a wide version of this, which I would recommend if you have a wide foot. And the shoe fits basically the same, just a little bit more comfortable and a little bit less going on here in the ankle as the Supernova Rise 1 did. So not major changes. but definitely things you will notice if you did run in the Supernova Rise 1. Looking at the midsole, as I already pointed out, there's no tooling changes. This is the same midsole that was in the Supernova Rise 1, and the outsole remains unchanged. Same materials, same everything for the midsole and outsole of this shoe. Moving to the ride of this shoe, this is where it gets a little interesting. Now, there are two written reviews out there, one from Doctors of Running and one from Road to Trail. I'll put a link in the description for both of them if you want to go read them. But in the Doctors of Running review, they say that the foam in this shoe feels slightly firmer and more resilient, but Road to Trail says the foam in the shoe feels softer and more energetic. Now, when I ran in this shoe, and I only put about 20K into the shoe in my testing because I spent so much time in the Supernova Rise 1, over 200 miles. I know that shoe really well. I didn't really notice any massive differences in this. Plus, I've been testing a bunch of other shoes this month. If you check the channel, you'll see that. And running in this shoe, I have noticed that it feels more responsive, but I don't know if that's actually a change to the shoe, to the foam. My fitness is much better than I was a year ago when I was testing the original Supernova Rise, and even much better than, say, 4 to 5 months ago when I was last really running in the Supernova Rise. Recently, in December, I did test the Supernova Rise 1 just to kind of refresh myself with it as I was putting my Shoe of the Year content together, and I didn't really notice any massive changes in my ability to run different paces in that shoe. It still was a shoe that I found best for easy running. Kind of jogging, kind of plodding, maybe getting up into steady, but not much more than that. In the testing I've done on this shoe, though, I've found it much more competent to get into threshold paces, getting into marathon, even half marathon paces. I've found this shoe much easier, same level of effort, but now I'm hitting threshold pace, something I could do in the Supernova Rise 1, but it took a lot of effort. In this shoe, it's not taking a lot of effort. So I don't know if that's a me change or that's a shoe change, but whatever it is, I do find this shoe a little bit more competent as a true daily trainer. It does feel like this shoe can go all of the easy running, all of that cushion running, all of the long running, all the stuff the Supernova Rise 1 did really well, plus some threshold running. Any faster than that, I wouldn't use this, but Adidas has a ton of other options anyway. But that's the beauty of this shoe. It's just a great, easy run shoe, but now it does feel competent to pick it up into threshold paces, which just again extends the versatility of this shoe. Overall, I'm still a huge fan of the shoe. I find this shoe very exciting. I find the engineering in this shoe very nice. I find this colorway very nice. I love this colorway. It's one of the best I've seen of any Supernova, either generation. And I still highly recommend this shoe if you're someone who likes a lower stacked, cushioned, flexible daily trainer that does have some structure in it. This shoe runs much more substantial than it actually is. It's a really wonderful mix of cushioning, support, and just ground feel. It's a great shoe for that. Now, if you can find really good deals on the Supernova Rise 1, which you probably can, is it worth paying more for this right now around release for the Supernova Rise 2? I don't know. Like I said, I'm finding this shoe more capable, but I think that's more me than the shoe. So I don't know. I think it depends on what you want to do. If you have the Supernova Rise 1 and it still has plenty of life in it, I wouldn't rush out and buy this one right now. But when it's ready to be upgraded, this one will be waiting, probably be on sales, and there'll probably be deals for this, and it'll be more of the same. Still a great shoe, still one I'm very excited about, one that I'll probably spend a little less time in 2025 just because there's so many other shoes to run in this year. But it is one that I'll pull out every once in a while when I want just a really comfortable, enjoyable shoe just to go out and enjoy running. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. If you find this content useful, consider subscribing. You'll see more content from me pop up in your feed. If not, drop a like on this video because it helps this channel continue to grow, which I always appreciate. And with that, I'll catch you in the next one.